All right, we're gonna send this Astro for a fucking ride, dude. Get your seatbelt ready, ladies and gentlemen. Get ready. We're about to launch. We have liftoff in 3, 2, 1. Woo! Wasn't that great? Woo! Anyway, this is Ahri, the unfortunate cat girl tasked with the impossible goal of fully completing Final Fantasy XIV. Over the next several thousands of hours, I will collect every single achievement, complete every new raid, and min-max every piece of content that the game throws at me. Can I create the strongest account ever? Hello everyone, welcome back. We are on our 11th episode now, this achievement hunting series. I know it's been a while, but do not worry, we are back and we are going to continue our regular uploads. We'll chit-chat throughout the video about the different things that have been happening over the last few months. Nothing super bad or anything, but let's just go ahead and get right into this. So yeah, we're going to go over the giveaway from the last video a little bit later on near the end of the video, but just know that we will have a new giveaway where all you have to do is put your character name down below in the comments, and that will get you entered for the Gil giveaway. So first things first, I need to kind of catch you guys up to speed with what my account has been working on over the last 4 or 5 months. First things first, we have to talk about crafting our new gear. By the time this video comes out, this gear is no longer new, but it is imperative that I get this set both pentamelded and high quality, as when Cosmic Exploration comes out, this is going to be our primary means of progression for that. And unfortunately, making this set is a little annoying because it was pretty heavy costing as far as the scripts are concerned, but the recipes weren't too bad as long as we got high quality preliminary crafts. But crafting has always been something that I've really liked in this game compared to, you know, Guild Wars 2, which I thought was way worse, and it always felt a bit more organic to me. There are some changes that I would make to crafting, but all in all, getting this all set up for our Cosmic Exploration went without a hitch. Took a little bit longer than I'd thought and a little bit more gil, but I'm going to make sure I plan a little bit better around it in the future with preparing materia. So one of the new things in Dawn Trail as far as content is concerned was the chaotic raid, which was pretty cool. It was like a 24-man. I would say it was around the difficulty of an extreme, but it was a very good gold making method, but also just getting more people into a Discord call and completing it together. So there were some problems with the chaotic raid, more good things than bad, honestly. I don't know why I wanted to start on a negative note, but I do think that the nature of these chaotic raids having too many body checks, and a body check is a mechanic within a raid where it quite literally checks how many people are alive, and if not enough people are alive, you know, you'll get hit by a massive raid wide, or everyone gets a damage down or a damage up. And Car's main problem for me was there were a couple specific mechanics, the towers, if you've done it before, where I don't mind head count checks or things of that nature, but there was so much nuance of little things that could go wrong with the chaotic raid, where a few people could ruin the run for everybody several times. And it's a Savage, you know, people are going to say, oh, it's supposed to be hard, and I think that's okay. It was just a little frustrating with Prague, where if someone's really just not clicking, or if someone's, you know, not putting in that work to understand and ask the right questions, it would kind of spoil the fun for everybody. And I do think the first and final phase were great because they were more scrappy. You know, when people were new to it, they were dying left and right, but you could get them back off the floor. And worst case scenario, you fail the DPS check and you have to clean it up. I do think them making more scrappy fights that are less headcount reliant would be a good way to pivot in the future. But overall, Car was really good. I grinded out the mount. We did like 70 or something clears in the first week or so. I do like that they add a feature where helping people get their first clear yields more rewards. I think that's good. I liked the mounts. I like that they added a hairstyle that was pretty high quality. I used it for quite a while. But overall, you know, I think if they keep doing a few of these in expansion, this is definitely a good addition to the content roster, and I hope that they don't give up on it because I had a good time. I do like that the currencies within the Chaotic Raid allows you to buy things that could be both unlocked for your own character, like untradeable mounts, but they also had things that could be traded, and I was just really happy with the amount of gil that I made from the various weeks of doing this, and I think that if they continue to make this type of reward structure, people will be more willing to keep doing it. Not to mention the nice eye level of gear we were getting. So a little bit of completionism that has been looming over my head for the better part of a year has been the Turnins, of course. I am pleased to announce that after however long it's been, all of my Grand Company Gatherer Turnins have been completed, and a little bit later on in the video we will talk about finishing the crafter ones. But all in all, I've covered this strat a few times about using the saddlebag to have all your materials for every potential craft or gather already in there. I highly recommend doing this if you plan on doing this achievement. If you have questions about the most optimal way of doing it, do feel free to comment down below and ask, because I probably won't bring it up again after this video. So around the time of New Year's, we made sure to do our little Christmas events. I don't believe these achievement points count on any of the websites, but I still try and make time to do all of them, especially since I've missed a few in the past. Oh, Diadem. So Diadem has been, over the last however many months, you know, people would ask me, hey, what are you up to? Or like, hey, do you want to do this? And be like, no, I'm doing Diadem. Hey, I'm doing Diadem. No, can't do that. Busy in Diadem. Non-stop. It's a lot better than the Accursed Hordes one, as I've said time and time again, but we have, present tense, completed pretty much 95 to 99% of everything we need to do in the Diadem, and so I've made sure to compile a few of the times where I've gotten achievement point dings or things of that nature. We do get a big plethora of Skybuilder scripts from doing these, and I've just been kind of drip feeding random emotes onto the market board. Pretty good profit, not too bad. So, as I mentioned before, we also did manage to finish our Crafter Turnins. They were a little bit behind the Gatherer ones, primarily because I was skipping the Alchemist and Culinarian dailies for quite a while, but I wouldn't do what I did. I would just do all 8 of them every day if you're trying to crank this out. It ended up speeding it up in the long run. So another cool side effect of doing Diadem is we've actually finished our Collectible Crafting achievement, as all of the expert crafts for Diadem count towards crafting collectibles. So it's actually not too bad. We actually finished it, and the Gathering Collectibles one is the real final boss of this category. So another cool event that happened within Final Fantasy was the Purple website that people stream on, and Final Fantasy did a collab where they started doing Twitch drops. And when you did these Twitch drops, I forgot if it was a certain amount of viewership or if it was gifting subs or something, but they added a mount in-game for anyone that participated in that, and that was pretty cool. You know, a lot of people came to hang out that normally don't use that type of media, and it was a pretty busy couple weeks. I forgot it was a couple weeks or a month, but I was live a lot of the time, but it was a pretty helpful little event that happened. So with that being said, if you haven't already liked and subscribed the video, you should do that. And anytime there are little collabs or thing of that nature, you will always hear of it from me. But all in all, the mount was a reskin. It was pretty cool. I kind of liked it. I thought that the way your character hides underneath the snowman was kind of cute. But I hope they do more things like this in the future. So another really weird goal that I completed was becoming a captain within the Immortal Flames. For years and years and years, ever since I've downloaded the game, I thought I was already the max rank in my Grand Companies. But apparently you had to do unique command missions in order to unlock a squad mission, which you then need to complete, and then you become captain. So, kind of embarrassing, but we got it for this one, and when I switch back to the other companies in accordance to my frontline achievements, I will make sure to get captain in the other two. But as far as I'm concerned, world's most recent Immortal Flames captain. One for the record books. We also got a new custom delivery NPC, which means that 3 to 4 in real life calendar months have been added to the requisite amount of time gate for doing all of the custom delivery NPCs. For those of you that are listening that are achievement hunters, make sure you're doing your custom deliveries every week, as this time gate is not as bad as something like Leaves, but it is already, I think, around 3 years. So if you're not doing it every week, make sure you start. Even if you're not an achievement hunter, though, this is one of, if not the best weekly chore to do. Like, if you can only log in once a week, custom deliveries has some of the most volatile, in a good way, proportion of rewards relative to your time spent. Getting access to the 2 most current scripts of whatever expansion you're playing on upon watching this video, and scripts just in general are a very, very good currency. You're always going to find something valuable for them, and they continue to add more items, whether they be mounts, materia, and so on, that will retain this currency's value. So if you're wondering why my character is running back and forth like she's at basketball practice, giving away materials and buying stuff with her Skybuilder scripts, it's because whenever you turn in your gatherer items, over and over and over again, you're going to get hit by the script cap, which makes you have to go spend them, or else you risk overcapping. And since I unload my items in such massive quantities, I get stuck doing these running loops back and forth. But all in all, we're getting a lot of money from doing this, so it's good news that this is happening. But let me tell you, this diadem thing, current me that's recording this, I'm so burnt out of diadem, but I can report that cosmic exploration, infinitely better. In the next video, we'll be talking a whole bunch about the cosmic exploration stuff, but tough out diadem, the future's better. We hit a pretty important leave breakpoint. One of the big macro scale achievements we hit 1,000 for, and it's basically the goal is getting to 1k on all of them before we move on to the 5k leave achievements, which are one of the final bosses of this game's achievements. Another significant breakpoint that we hit is getting our Endwalker, specifically 2,000 A ranks. We're about 200 and change short on the Shadowbringers front, and I think Dawntrail is around 200 as well. I'm not too sure because I've been running a lot of trains of that as of late, but Endwalker is all done. The Shadowbringers ones are a little few and far between, so I need to make sure I'm actually staying on top of those, but that's one of the A rank achievements down. PvP and its reward systems honestly warrant their own video where I talk about it for like 10 minutes, but what we're going to see here is me unloading, let me do the math, what, 20, like over 100,000 something trophy crystals. Trophy crystals are a currency that you get just from playing your series rewards in PvP, and I can announce that as of today they did release a vendor that lets you purchase old series rewards that you may have missed. So if you missed a series and you want a certain glam mount, what have you, emote, minion, you can go get them now. So that's pretty cool. Someone like me who plays way more PvP than I ever should, unfortunately the rewards are still pretty terrible if you will consider yourself a PvPer, but I guess at least it's a step in the right direction, you know, them opening the vaults and some of those old series items, but I really hope they add something in the future, because until then, I will add to my growing pile of wolf collars that will never find any use whatsoever. As they released the new, what is it called? Allied Society quest? Is that what it's called? Anyway, we got caught up on the new Allied Society quests, got that maxed out with the Pelu. I also decided to stop procrastinating the new big fish that got released with Dawntrail. As of now, there have been 2 batches of fish released. We finished the first one entirely, and I think I need 1 more on the second batch. But I'll keep you guys updated if I get that last fish that we're looking for. All right, next up we have a bit of a rapid fire round, I guess is what I'm gonna call it. We went through our achievement log and just went through all of the various ARR zones, and there's a bunch of little weird achievements that are like, oh, chop 10 logs in this zone, and then chop 50 in this zone, and then, you know, catch 10 fish here, craft 10 of this at this level range, so on and so forth. So I was streaming one day and decided, you know what, I'm gonna try and get 100 points in like an hour or two. And so we just kind of systematically went map to map, knocking out these little baby achievements, and then they were pretty fine. Unfortunately, when it comes to ARR gathering achievements, there are 3 main areas with, we think you have like the Ul'dah area, the Gridania area, and then the Limsa area. There's some pretty heavy duty achievements that are like, oh, chop 5,000 trees in this area, and you have to do that in all 3 of the regions. Now 5,000 doesn't sound too bad until you realize that it is not the actual quantity of items you are receiving, it is the number of swings your character does. So if I'm using GP to acquire additional materials through like King's Yield or things like that, and I get, you know, 20 logs off of one node, that does not actually accelerate the achievement at all. The only thing that changes it is, like I said, the number of swings. And I personally just, you know, gather something that's valuable, and I will still use my GP to get some gil out of it. But all in all, this is just another put something on a TV show or listen to a YouTube series, what have you, because I haven't finished them yet, the bigger scale achievements, but when the content kind of dies down, then that'll probably be on my list. But as of right now, the diadem wrapping up and getting ready for cosmic exploration, those take my priority as far as, you know, gathering and crafting pursuits, but we're gonna have to keep an eye on those ones as well, because that is many hours waiting for us. I was also able to finish up the Stormb Blood, I think they're called allied quests. It's when you finish all of one expansion's tribes, and then they give you like a joint quest to do. We knocked that out. As of day of recording, I only have, I believe, kobolds and the Ixal left. So we are finally almost done with our Allied Society quests. So one thing I've also noticed, and it doesn't really bother me that much because whatever doesn't affect me, I don't really care. One thing I noticed that is kind of a problem in Diadem is the amount of botting that people do. It is quite easy to tell when someone is botting. There is a very specific movement pattern when you're inside gathering, and if you're curious what that is, most people that use the add-ons for that, when they finish gathering at a node, their character will pause. They 99% of the time will use the mount roulette button where it like picks a random mount. I'm pretty sure they do that in like a way to make it look like they're choosing a different mount each time or something, but they always pause, get in their mount roulette, jump, and then run a perfect angle to their next node or to shoot off the little laser beam thing. And so seeing all the bots running around in there was a little disheartening, especially because a lot of them had the accursed title, which I think is hilarious. I think that title is like the biggest self-expose in the game right now. But there's a lot of botting in Diadem, which is kind of unfortunate. So I'm just kind of hoping that when Cosmic is doing its thing, that there's a lot of anti-botting things in place. I know when Cosmic Exploration comes out, there's going to be a new feature called the Star Contributor, which is every other day, the #1 player on your server will be rewarded with a non-permanent accolade that basically says, hey, you did the most on your entire server that day. And I know that people are already starting to kind of worry about, you know, will botting ruin this? Will Artisan ruin this? Things of that nature. If I had to guess, people won't be dumb enough to bot it, but I'm guessing Artisan will definitely be a factor, unfortunately. But other than that, as I've been storing up all these items, big thank you to my FC for letting me store all of these items away, so that way I don't have to keep destroying my retainers and saddlebag. And hopefully by the time the next episode rolls around, we'll be able to clean out this FC chest. But for now, we'll have to put all of our items in here for now. The command mission thing, which we briefly touched on already, I'm kind of dreading this one because I heard that there was like a meta strategy to like make these go by really fast. I think it had to do with like getting 2 Arcanists or something, I don't remember. But doing the 100 command missions is going to be a bit of a slog for me since I haven't really gone out of my way to educate myself on how to do them properly. So I just kind of YOLO in there. I play a tank, I pull everything, and still almost die because my NPCs don't like to heal me. But it's just something that's going to get done. We'll get captain in all the 3 grand companies. It's going to be great. So, leave quests. We've talked about it time and time again, and I'm going to key you guys in on what exactly is the roadmap for what we have left. I need to finish my blacksmith and armorer unique leaves. Once those 2 jobs are done, we have no more uniques in the game to do. We will only need to do quantity-related achievements. The first thing we'll do at that point is there are 500 total required leaves per grand company. So we'll make sure we go out of our way to get 500, 500, and 500. And then after that, we will pivot over to some of the macro achievements, which are the ones that cap at 5k. And we will get our fieldcraft to 1000, which is a checkpoint. And then we'll get our battlecraft to 1000, which is another checkpoint. And then we will have only 3 achievements left, all at 5k, and that is the final boss, basically, of achievement hunting. And frontlines. Okay, so that covers a lot of the smaller things I wanted to go over, but there were other bigger things that we were actually able to do over the last few months as well. The first of which that I wanted to talk about was our Fru clear. We had a static that we played and progged with, did like 7 or 8 reclears with them, but our very first kill was actually thanks to Saya, who set up a clear for 2 with me and some of their friends, and luckily we were able to pay it forward throughout the rest of the coming months and do a whole bunch of clear for 1s and help other people get their totems, their titles, and things like that. So I wanted to show you guys those final moments just so you could enjoy the experience if you didn't see it on stream. Come on, please.
You killed. And Grassy.
Yes!
Go!
Oh, fuck yeah, second time
Let's
P5. Hell
fucking
yeah.
go!
So fucking easy.
Easy. Second P5, Ahri, really fucking good, dude. You didn't get hit by shit.
Oh, man.
Congrats, all you guys. Well, save for gold.
Another big hurdle that we were able to accomplish was the week 1 clear for the Savage raid tier, the Cruiserweight tier. We finished Monday afternoon, so day 7 clear, Lamau, but super good raid tier. I had an absolute blast. The people I played with were a joy to be around, and I look forward to doing the final raid tier, which should be in like, what, I don't know, like a year. But here's that moment as well, if you were not there when I was streaming it. We will get a limit break at the end of this 1s. You're gonna do it when it makes sense for you. My feint coming up.
1s are coming up with pots. 1s with pots.
Pot if you forgot. My feint.
All mid should be out now.
Oh, no, no, no.
It'll come up in a sec. You're fine, calm.
Just do
Now.
damage.
Use it.
Is that dude? Is that? Is that?
That's gonna kill!
Go! Get me the fuck
Yes!
out of here, dude! I can think, okay, yes!
Oh, we fucking slaughtered that too. I had a whole other ones ready to go.
Alright guys, get on your ults.
Alright, it is time to pull the giveaway winner. Let's see who we got. Not rigged, by the way. We have Clairvoyance, congratulations. Feel free to contact me in-game on Discord in the comments in the next video, however which you would like, and I will meet you up and get you your gil. Thank you again for entering, and don't forget, everyone can enter even if you've won before, any server, I don't care. Congrats again. Congrats again to the winner of the giveaway. Sorry that it was not nearly on time. But with that being said, I am extremely excited and eager and even a little anxious to start doing a lot of this editing stuff myself. But all in all, it's the right thing to do, and I'm just overjoyed that I get the opportunity to have you guys, watch these videos. So thank you so much for that. Feel free to like and subscribe. It really, really does help. Don't forget to drop that comment down below to enter the next giveaway. And we are going to have more content on the way soon pertaining to cosmic exploration. Not necessarily a guide per se, but probably more of my thoughts on it. Maybe specific missions if people need help with those. But yeah, feel free to check out some of my other videos, and I hope to hear and see you guys again. See you soon, and thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Take care.